Aloha and welcome to June 2019 Moana Divine Reading, and welcome back if you're coming back. Sorry if the name has changed, the interplay of the name has changed a couple of times. So basically, yeah, Moana, I'm Moana, that's my name, and that's my Hawaiian name, and welcome to Moana Divine Reading. Kind of the name I'm going to go with, something short and sweet. We're going to do kind of like the basic same reading, maybe slightly different format. I'm not too sure if I'll be breaking it up. I'll see how it goes. So we're going to get started. Yeah, just a little bit of an intro. This is a reading based on Hawaiian principles, ho'oponopono, and of course the nature of the Aloha, Hawaiian, ohana, no one left behind, all the collective, the interplay of the divine creator, creation, the ha and the aloha. The ha breath is the creation. When the creator breathed out, he breathed out the ha breath, and out came all creation. So these are the principles, some of the principles behind the Hawaiian culture, and as well as, divine love. Totally absolute divine intervention, unconditional love. And so my readings are always pretty much based on completeness, taking the both kind of dualities and bringing them together in one complete energy, balancing both energies. So the readings will kind of draw, which side is kind of needing more energies, as well as some of the messages that come out. I'm an intuitive reader, along with connecting with spirit and divine energies. And through the cards, basically those energies come through the cards, they speak. So sometimes I may sway towards more of the deeper meaning behind the cards rather than just the, what the card is saying alone. So I started off with the Mayan Oracle reading. This is a collective reading. At the moment, I'm not doing the zodiac signs. I am just doing basically a collective. So basically that's based on, again, divine energies. And if you feel to be here, then you're in the right place. All right. So we're going to start off with the Mayan Oracle reading. And just using the Mayan Oracle deck, and that's these ones right here. And so we're just going to start by pulling out what comes out through for, there's 3 sections. We have the star glass. Oh, there it is. Wow. A couple wanted to come out, but I'm just going to pick the first, and that is actually so pertaining to the energies right now. We have a lot of things going on. Chikon, he is the star glyph for, he's the snake. He represents the snake. So, but as we can see, we got a lot of red and orange. So if we're looking at chakra, we're looking at root chakra, and all the way to the yellow. So root chakra, sakra chakra, as well as solar plexus chakra. So all the way like rising up, a kundalini going on here, which is a lot what's going on. Even with the retrogrades, I believe we're still in the Saturn retrograde. That one wanted to come out. The third aspect, I'm not doing this in order, third aspect is the lens. And we got launching of light. Look at that. We're just talking about all this kundalini energy. There's a lot of new energy coming up. And launching of light. And I'm just going to go into the meetings. So in the past, some of my readings have been a little bit long, so I'm going to actually try to keep them a little bit shorter. Okay, and then the last is numerology. As we know with the Mayans, actually that one wanted to come out. As we know with the Mayans, they are masters of astrology and numerology. This is the 8. Wow, coming to completion. Not quite yet at completion. Harmonic resonance. All right, so that bar stands for 5 and each dot stands for 1. That's an 8. Now this is referring to the new energies that are coming in. So basically, we have just all last year, we have just completed a lot of cycles, and we are entering into a whole new cycles of energies. All right, and then for the Hawaiian healing, I'm going to pull the cards from this deck. Hawaiian healing. It's a beautiful deck, and it gives the intention of the reading the Hawaiian Aloha divine energies coming in. Okay, and this deck is by Donna Elizabeth Jason. It's a really, really beautiful deck. So we'll be shuffling those and see what comes out. So we get a lot of fire energy coming out, a lot of newness. So basically, this whole new cycles of energies are coming up. What this means as far as completion goes with the 8 is basically we're stepping into that newness, but we're not completely fully in the door yet. So the door is open, we're taking the first step, and we have that kind of like that left foot ready to step forward if we step forward with our right. Basically, we haven't fully stepped through the door yet, but we're stepping through the door. There's your 8. We're stepping through the door, but we haven't fully started this completely new energy yet, but we're stepping right into it. And a very interesting card we have is the Maliu. Maliu to heed, focus. So very important messaging. I'm just going to read the intent real quickly of this card, and that is, my intent is to stay true to my core values by focusing my energies on things that are in alignment with my heart and soul. Okay, and we're going to put that one right there. And then I always pull a card from the Zoltan Tarot, keeping up with the Mayan energies. I just love the Mayan energies. They work really well with the Hawaiian energies. And it's like the brother and sister kind of energies for you, but they both have the essence between the Mayans, not the Aztecs. Don't confuse between the Aztecs and the Mayans. Totally different people. Almost different timelines. Almost. But anyways, totally different people, totally different things. The Mayans were very loving. They had a lot of like the same similarities of Hawaiian family. There's a card that came out. That one wanted to come out. And we have the 8 of Staffs. Wow, that's really awesome. Really pertaining to this, the Chikan there. 8 of Staffs is the 8 of Wands. So a lot of fast moving energy coming in, as well as, these messages. Okay, but I am getting, these messages are definitely coming in. Wands is a suit of action. So definitely they're coming in formats of like respondents, energies of motion. So it'll almost like be a message of instructions. So very, 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 a lot of energies going on, a lot of creative energies going on, and a lot of that Kundalini energy of, so creative energy is always there. But what we're looking at with the Kundalini is this rise up of the creative force in creating new birth. So a while back, just before Christmas, one of the volcanoes, Kilauea, he ignited there, or she ignited there, and just a burst of all this new birth of fire and earth coming through the volcano, and just really, it's devastating, but it's still in its own way very miraculous how, that earth just, it's like it's this burst of new energy, and sometimes it's painful, but it's coming, and it's here. and it's taking over all the old stuff. And that's sometimes that's the painful process, is when, releasing a lot of the old energies, because even though it is things we may on our own accord somewhere down the line want to hold on to, it's things that cannot exist in this new era that we're stepping into. And as devastating some of it is, letting it go, the beauty and magnificence and the awe and wonder of this new birth. Birth is always magnificent. It is always a mystery. And we are always in awestruck. We are always in awestruck with this language of light. And if we look at this language of light, this couple of things come out for me for that card. One, it looks like, an eye, right? If we look at it, there's the iris here, the pupil there, and then all the kind of like the muscles of the eye going around. And it's like this awakening, this new vision, this new sight. And it's like our eyes are opening, and we're receiving this new light coming in. So we're beginning to understand, and this is good, because the previous readings I had, coming into this new, and possibly the possibility of this uncomfortableness of not knowing who we are, because we're stepping into this new, so that a lot being revealed. But now what we're beginning to see that our eyes are opening. We're beginning to understand what we're stepping into, where we're going, and of course this kundalini of revelation of who we are, who we're becoming to be, which is our essence. Like the seed, really actually the seed coming from the seed to the seedling, out from the darkness, deep depths of the earth, into, the little coblets of leaves, and then growing from there, and then finally maturating into the tree that it's supposed to be. And this is what happening. We're starting to reveal, this kind of, I don't want to use the word identity, but identifier of who we are. And it's all coming together. And it's all coming from this new birth, this new kundalini energy. And so I'm just going to read, from the book here. It's definitely an earth element, even though I'm getting a lot of fire coming from this, coming from Shikan today. I'm getting a lot of fire. It is an earth element because of the snake representation of this Darglyph. However, the snake also represents the kundalini energy, which is that of also like that creative fire, almost like that phoenix. So when I read through the card, I just want to read, I'm going to be reading the shadow wisdom. Shadow wisdom is the energies to watch out for. Okay, and some of that energy is coming into this new. We want to release unresolved issues. Not so much issues. We've already kind of looked through that a lot, but we want to release the unresolved anger that are maybe lingering around for us. From up until now, all the things that we've been through. We've been through a lot up until this point, and now is the divine is saying, I want you to be completely anew. So basically, release all this old stuff. It's not going to serve us coming into this new, because it's really going to have no place. So unresolved anger, releasing that. Just see if some of the old patterns come up, old what we call igniters, which is our old triggers. Just pay attention to these old triggers, and so release that. Another good reader to I should listen to. His name is Sky, and I'm trying to remember what his thing. I'll put that down in the description box below. He does a lot of astrology. He does tarot, but he's very good. He describes these things really well. And actually, I believe he was just kind of describing a lot of this, but he was also describing releasing, these unresolved issues, which result in anger, or sometimes that kind of like that, somebody triggers that trigger in us, and instead of having a practical rational mind, we kind of resort back to that past pain that just actually doesn't serve us anymore. We don't need it because nothing of that past is going to exist, but it's lingering. And so having that triggered, instead of facing that or dealing with the circumstance with that resolved mind, a diplomatic mind, to watch how we respond to that, to make sure that we're not responding in the way that is that of vengefulness, well, you hurt me, so I'm gonna hurt you back. So it's just, that's not you. That's not who you are meant to be. That has no place any longer. You don't. It's the energies. The divine is saying you won't need that anymore. So now we're just, if that comes up, it's only coming up to show you, let this go, release this. So any resolved issues, making predictable choices based on familiarity and security rather than on intuitive wisdom. So a lot of this anew coming in is showing us too, when we begin to become, well, as they say, more awakened, more in tune, as we begin to see, ourselves rise up, we have the sense of that connective sense with more divinity, more divine energies, more higher consciousness. And as we begin to accept these higher consciousness and realize, wow, they are here, I am part of this, and we all are, we begin to understand that the consciousness of that alone doesn't have a place for any of these judgments or any of these false teachings that we have been taught through social teachings, shall I say, through society. And these are the things like, oh, should do that, oh, can't say this, can't say that. It doesn't exist because there's no, how am I going to try to say this? The closer we get to that divine consciousness, we realize, that there's no duality. There is no duality. There is no right or wrong. There is no bad or good. There's only this sense of necessity, of being, of what is true, and to connect with that. So yes, getting rid of. So partly of this, just growing into this new, is getting rid of this familiarity, the security we were talking about earlier. You won't have to protect yourself in such a manner, because where we're stepping into, these energies do not exist, right? They don't exist. We're loved. We're taken care of. We're part of the all. And that is something really important to remember. Because when we remember we're part of the all, we have all. Nothing can get taken away from us. If anything is lost, it's because it's not needed anymore. It's not necessary. So changing this perspective over. So the shadow transformation, this is kind of the guide. This is kind of the advice that Shakan is reaching out to give us. Use the body as a tool for transformation. Learn how to use passion Passion. There's the Kundalini energy. Passion, part of that Kundalini energy is that passion. And the senses as a means of access, aligning to higher consciousness. Follow your gut. That was the other thing I wanted to say, is following the gut, right? That intuitive. So we become less to what, our attachments are. We become less to, that social reasoning, let's say, that have been ingrained in us since who knows when. We become less reliant on that, and more reliant on our intuitive gut. Our intuition is saying, the divine universe is speaking strongly to us. We can feel it. We can go by that. We can trust that. Trust your intuition. So follow that. Follow the instincts to make the choices in the moment. And that's sometimes the most important thing. There are times, yes, that, it is good to wait and just see before we react. We definitely want, so reacting on that again, if we're reacting on the old, ways, the old triggers, then yes, we want to pause and not react. But if there is necessary to be an existent and intuitive is coming in, and be that. Harmonic resonance, pierced by the harmonic of the one heart, you sing ecstasy song. Join in singing to dream away. So this is talking about that ocean. We're stepping into that sea, that ocean of the divine, where all things are connected. Every drop of water is connected to the next, and everything flows through that ocean. Right? So that water is the connectiveness, that surreal, heavenly water, and it's all connected. And connecting to that, then we become in harmony with the energies. And just now, again, coming back to that language of light. It's a one. So here we have a one. So one is the new, right? It's the creative. It's the new. And the one pointed focus, the gateway, direct access. So here it is. Divine is saying, all right, you're here, you're arrived. Here's your direct access. You are stepping into the doorway now. You're stepping in there. Just keep walking. Keep walking. The gateway, direct access, sound and light transmission, devotion, sound and light healer, activation, the light body transcendent, consciousness feeling as the divine access point. Access points. These are your access points, and you know where you're going. You know where you're stepping into. And the neat thing is, we are all healers in our own way. So that passion that you have, that is what is to be harnessed into the creative self, that Kundalini creation of the new. Resonate with your passion. When you resonate with your passion, it's as simple as that. That's resonating with the divine, because the divine created you to be this. And so really look into what this passion is, and that is your access point. You have arrived and you're here, and it's saying this is your time now. So June, and it's interesting, June coming into summer, the sun, the orange, the sunrise or the sunset, that orange, that yellow. So this is, I feel like June is like the sunrise of the day, right? The sun is rising. It hasn't quite gotten here. So June, you're really going to start seeing that passion rise. Is going to become stronger, and you're really going to be happy. June is definitely going to be a happy month. That's not to say it's without challenges. Obviously, we're going to have our challenges, and then that's what we're going to continue to release. And it goes like that. And that's why we have this focus here. That's why we have our focus of intent. Don't forget who you are. Don't forget where you come from. It's funny, I didn't really want to say that, but Spirit's saying that's the message. Don't forget where you come from. But that doesn't mean, like, That doesn't mean like Vancouver, BC or Seattle, Washington. Don't forget where you come from, like who you are, your essence, your ancestries. So I'm going to part ways with with that message here from the Mayan Oracle. And I'm going to go ahead and move on to the tarot now and see the messages coming in from there, which is always a continuation. So I hope that made sense. And but we're going to get more in detail with the tarot as well. These are all more general, but just knowing that if you're feeling really questionable as to wow, I got all this energy, just always in tune yourself with your intuitive self. You know who you are, so stay focused. Stay focused. And that is really also bringing home, stay focused to your intuition. That's going to be very important. Stay connected. Stay connected with your root self. Know who you are. Now I know why they're saying that. Know who you are. Stay connected with that root, because we got definitely, and this has been coming out for the chakras, is strengthen. It's good to connect and strengthen the root chakra, tongue tied there, root chakra, sacral chakra, and solar plex chakra. Very, very important as we're coming into June. All right, and I'll be right back with the tarot. Aloha, and welcome back to the tarot portion of the of our reading, Moana Divine readings. Yeah, so we talked a lot about like creative energy coming in, stepping into that doorway of the new, basically a whole new being rebirthed. Not completely out of the ashes like the phoenix, but definitely a lot of phoenix energy going on because we have the kundalini energy, shakan of the snake. Definitely ridding of old. So we talked about ridding of old. Because it really is now coming with us to where we're going. And that energy is coming through. I always say the cards really speak to themselves because we have, today I decided to pull from the Sacred Rebel. I love this deck. It's a really beautiful deck. And I just want to bring these two cards up. I also pulled from the Enchanted Map. Whoops, upside down. That's not reversed. The Enchanted Map, and as you can see, we'll clear that up a little bit. Actually, just gonna grab that here. And as you can see, we have, there we go. We have cleaning house and coming to life. Those are, you couldn't get two better cards that go hand in hand for a message coming forward to us as far as that message coming through the divine that is saying, leave the old, let it go, because you are going to be so happy with who you're becoming and who you have yet to become, because this is all new energy. And from this card here, coming to life, I mean, wow, you are awakening. This birth is like you are really, you're really coming to life. There we go. So this card really speaks about like bringing yourself to light. This is to life. Sorry. This is that Kundalini energy. This is also what we were talking about earlier in the Mayan oracles about letting it go, getting away from that identifiers of past beliefs of who we are supposed to be. That's the best way I can think of saying it, actually. Who we're supposed to be. And then we react on these things. Then we feel we have to protect ourselves, defend ourselves on things when it's really not necessary. All you have to do is be who we are. And that's what we're stepping into. We're stepping into who we really are. This is the message. Coming into this new and just letting go of old things. This card talks about, the monkey mind, not being controlled by that monkey mind. I have always loved that saying, monkey business. Because you are sacred. You are truly, you're not being reborn, you're being birthed. You're coming to who you truly are. And using that intuition is so critical now. Very, very important. Not the identifiers, that old monkey mind where we're reacting on, attached old idealisms of the way things are and what things mean. You're going to find out none of that. Everything is all new. Like none of that is going to be what you thought it was. It's all going to be new now. And, this card also talks about, beneath all these habitual thoughts and idealisms and everything, the old habits and everything, beneath all that, there's a deeper us, a deeper sense. And that is that divine connection that we're talking about. All right, without further ado, we're going to step into the tarot. I'm going to get into the mystical shaman. I'm actually going to read from the book for that one. I'm going to get into that one later. This is from the mystical shaman oracle. And this is the card that was pulled. All these cards are so beautiful. There it is. And I'm going to talk about that one a little bit later. And again, we have a 38, which is the 11. 11 is the doorway, and that kind of came through this point of access that we had, which is the 1, and that's our doorway. And it's all this new energy. So it's a really exciting time. It's a really exciting time to be alive, because we're stepping into who we are, and it doesn't matter what age. Because it's still new. So this card came up. It was funny. It kind of popped up. We have the moon. And because it kind of popped up like this, I was shuffling and it popped out like this. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, I usually wait to reveal the cards. And it popped out like that. And it's the moon card. And it's at the position of our middle self. That's our manifested self here on Earth. The reading goes, so this represents our middle self. This is our lower self. This is basically our root self, our survival mode self, our subconscious self. This is our higher self. This is the divine self. This is the self without ego, and whatever you feel that connects. To connect, where you connect to that higher sense of self, the one without ego, without, again, all those habitual identifiers, and basically it's like a supreme being. No egos, no fears, none of that. It's a pure self, whereas this one sometimes can be based on, our lower self sometimes can be based on ego and based on fears. So sometimes, I can refer to things of the past, energies coming out through here that we need to be aware, and this can represent things of the future, because this is where we're coming into. And we have the moon. It was revealed, and for some reason I don't normally have a clarifier card for that one, but this card came out as well as a clarifier card, and it's the as we can see here, sometimes it takes a minute to focus, but it's, oops, sorry, I'm holding it upside down. It's kind of dark. Okay, there we go, 6 of coins. Okay, I know some of you say, well, that's reversed. Well, actually, the clarifier cards come out that way. So it's, however, I do read a complete energy that comes out of the card. But it's a clarifier card for the moon. So what's interesting about this is 2 things. The moon came up. And earlier I was mentioning I read more the intuitive messages, things that come, the energies that are revealed from the cards more than just what the card means, and I kind of combine those two. So the story goes, my stories, is that the moon came up and it popped up like that. Normally, you know, they come out and, you know, I lay them out and then reveal them. But this one popped out like it wanted to be shown. And then we have the clarifier card. It kind of fell on top. So this is all very interesting, which is the Six of Coins. And I do apologize. I keep holding that like it's in reverse. But in this case, the energies that are coming is all this revelation. So all hidden things want to be seen. And that's what came up. That was the first thing. So the moon card represents, you know, things are hidden. Negative energies represent deception and all that, but that has no place here right now, especially in the reading that is indicated. However, it is revealing secrets or hidden mysteries, hidden things wanting to be revealed. So that's interesting. So all these secrets, all these hidden things, I don't really like the word secrets, but all these hidden things are coming to light now. They are being revealed. Who you've been suppressing, yourself, your passion, all those things are going to be revealed. So in other words, we're getting this understanding. So this understanding is coming up. You're going to understand a lot more. You're going to come to this understanding of a lot more things about the world around you, why things were. So it's like this you know, higher consciousness. There it is again. So the higher consciousness is going to reveal itself. And that's nice. It's not like we have to really meditate or work on it, even though meditation's good, because earlier we did get, you know, if you would like to do a meditation or whatever it is that works for you to balance and strengthen. We had the message to balance and strengthen the root chakra, sacral chakra, and solar plexus chakra. So that's the red, orange, and yellow. And those colors are coming out. But what's happening here is it's being revealed. The new you is coming. Who you are is being revealed. And you're reaching for the moon because you're reaching for the intuitive. The moon is holding all your answers, and they are going to be revealed. And that is the manifestation coming through the Six of Coins. So what I'm getting with the Six of Coins in this case is because of all this mystical, divine energy, the Six of Coins is this hand. Green is often, and in this case, going to be the color of healing. It's known for the color of healing. So you're being healed. You're healing. And what's happening is this is the hand of divine. That's what's coming through in this card for me. And what's really interesting, what you give is now coming back. So you are going to see everything that you've seen if you felt like your whole life, oh my goodness, I did all this work. I don't see any of the reparations or, you know, any of the balancing of, you know, where are my rewards, that kind of stuff. Well, it's coming now. And you're starting to see it now. And that's the nice thing. So this balance, coins, pentacles represent manifestations of things in this world. And the beautiful thing is this whole energy is coming through. This is the spirit and manifestation of spirit coming through onto this world, balancing. So it's a balance between spirit and this world. And that's what you're starting to experience. And that's the key, is the experience. You're actually experiencing, you're starting to live this now. And that is what this coming to life is all about, right? So it's experiencing. You are experiencing this now, and it's so beautiful. And you are feeling like you're coming to life. So the lower self, this is really interesting. So we have the Hermit card here. This is the deck of the Divine Tarot. Sorry, Gateway of the Divine Tarot. And this is the Hermit card, and that's coming through. Hermit card could also mean, represents a Virgo. So there's a lot of Virgo energy, whether there's Virgos around you, but there is this sense, again, of manifesting, grounding. As we mentioned earlier, the importance of the root chakra being strengthened, and that is there's no better way to ground ourselves than strengthening and connecting with that root chakra. So we're coming into this peace, and this is your lower self coming up and speaking to you. It's like, I'm beginning to feel at peace because my whole being is beginning to experience this. And you may have a Virgo coming through that may be helping you with this grounding, because of all the signs, Taurus is, for me, represents one of the most grounded ones. Capricorn represents one of the most earthly balanced ones, and then Virgo represents, to me, one of the most grounded in a compassionate way. That's just what it means to me. And so what I'm getting is this aid coming through, but it's going to be a grounding that you need, because it's the divine working through this person to solidate your footage as you're stepping through the door. And we had Maliu as the Hawaiian message here, and representing focus. Don't forget who you are. And again, so as we're getting rid of sloughing off old energies, don't forget who you are. The higher self position, and we have the Knight of Pentacles. Now, I had this card in a reading a little while ago, and I really focused on the horses in some readings on this case, and it looks like they could be fighting or whatever, but I see them playing. And again, as the clarifier for the self, I'm really beginning to also see that this is also a clarifier for also the higher self. So the higher self is saying play, enjoy with yourself. But these are your two selves coming into balance. There's your spiritual self, and again, the spiritual coming down, manifesting balance into your life as you're seeing all your work, all the triumphs, tribulations, hurt and pain, that road, that journey that we travel down, that's not so easy. It's grown us. It's really grown us, and it's really brought us to this point. And this is exactly where Spirit wants it to be. And this is where it's time. The timing is now, and we're seeing this balance. So Spirit, our divine self, is even saying, let's play with our spirit. Be happy, be joyful, our spirit self and our physical being. We are becoming one. So you're becoming whole. You're manifesting into a wholeness because of the balance, this balance that is coming together between our higher selves and our lower, and our middle self, which also represents the lower self as well. So when we have these three cards in alignment, this is now the universal energy coming in, is this position right up here. And it's when all these three cards come in alignment. And it does have a clarifier, and look at that. This is the divine message coming in. So we have the Temperance, and I had a feeling this card was coming out. I was watching a reading, and a lot of the reading was talking about a lot of patience. They had another card that represents patience, and there was the Temperance, and so a lot of patient energy. But in this case, this is when all the three cells are in alignment, and it's just showing now, coming through the reading, that they are in alignment. You are becoming the balance. We have the two horses playing, your two selves, your spiritual self and your physical self. And they're playing because they're resonant. Again, we have that harmonic resonance coming through. So we're resonating even with our own self. And we're starting to feel the joy, because that comes naturally. We don't have to work hard. So now with our being, or with ourselves being aligned, the Temperance is saying, we've had the patience, we've grown the patience. Now it's like, the patience is just a part of our being. We are the patient, and therefore you won't be feeling, much longer waiting for things to happen. Now things are happening, and as we had right in the beginning, we had the Eight of Wands. So now the energy is coming in. We have the manifestations from the Six of Coins, or the Six of Pentacles, the manifestations, and it's even coming from the divine now. It's coming from spirit, however you see that. And now spirit is saying, you've waited, and now look at the gold in this color. Now things are coming in. They're coming through for you. Things are coming through. That's the best way for me to say that. And kind of that's the thing that's coming through. Things are coming through. And then, wow, we got a lot. And then this card does usually have a clarifier with it. And the clarifier, wow, we couldn't get any more significant than the, well, in this deck, it's called the Faith, which is also the Hierophant. So, Hierophant often represents, well, faith here. You know, we have the faith. I'm going to put these cards like that. We have the faith. And we have honed the patience that we don't even realize now when we're being patient for something. We don't even realize that's what we're doing. We're being patient because it's just a part of our being now. It's part of our souls. And so here's the Hierophant, which is faith. And now that is also part of ourselves. So now we have this divine union, again, a divine union between our beings, our spiritual beings, and our physical beings. So that's why life as we know it will no longer exist, because we have this divine union. When we come together, like a man and woman come together, a birth happens. A birth happens. So we have a lot of this kind of, I don't want to say not duality, but dual, a lot of dual energies like yin and yang coming together and birthing this birth. Spirit and man, or woman, and spirit and ourselves and environment, ourselves and spirit coming together, this divine union. Now this also can indicate, because it is also a card of marriage, there is a union coming together, a very sacred union. Now whether that is like a divine partner, some may say twin flame, or I don't know. I just find the word twin flame is nice if that means something to you, or soulmate, that means something to you. I just find that now we're coming so beyond that it's a union that is a very sacred union. It goes beyond a name. So if you recognize with that twin flame or soulmate, then that's, you know, what you understand to go with, and go with that. But it is a divine union, but most importantly, the divine union is beginning with yourself, and that is the wonderful thing. It's happening with this Kundalini energy, and because that's happening with you, it's happening with you in spirit, and it's happening, then it is calling to that divine sacred union of that other half coming in. So something very, very sacred is coming in through June. This is the position of hidden energies that Spirit wants us to be aware of. And often it can be not really warning, but something to look after, or it's something to say, wow, look at this. In this case, it's the King of Wands. And right away what I got from this, I'm just going to pull this card. It kind of goes with this card right here, the Eight of Wands. And right away what I got from this, I got that picture of the 7 wands that goes with this deck, with the guy, he's standing like this, and he's got his 1 wand and all wands in the bottom. Well, so a couple of things came through with the energy of this card for me. And it's so perfect that it's in the hidden energy ones, because we talked about, being cautious of this monkey business. And that is basically our old habitual ways that we recognize with. So getting rid of that. So making sure that we're not on the defense. We don't need to. That we're actually using this wand energy, which is a very fiery, active energy. The wands stand for action and active, a lot of that. That we're using it for our higher purpose, to keep moving forward, to keep that courage. The King of Wands, he's very courageous, right? He has to be, because if he's on a move, he has to move quickly. So stepping through the doorway, we have this courage. We're using it. Instead of to being on the defense, we're using it to continue to be the courage to continue to step through the doors, because all this energy is coming through. June is going to be a very powerful month. It's going to be a very fast moving month, and there's going to be lots of things coming, and it's going to kind of come from different directions. So instead of being overwhelmed and getting on the defense, just pull up the fire, the Kundalini energy, to have the courage to continue walking through the door, moving forward. So that is definitely going to be an important advice for the month of June. And so this position here, basically looking at the cards, is on the right. This is energies that we're aware of, but maybe we need to pay more attention to. And here it is, the Six of Wands. Oh my goodness, victory. Wow, victory. So all I could say is wow. That's the only thing Spirit's telling me to say right now. Wow. That's your message from this card. Wow. So victory. So coming from the King of Wands, continue with the courage to walk through the door, because your victory, basically, I'm just trying to say the words correctly, but in a simple way of saying it, your victory is already here. You're already victorious, and that's what Spirit wants you to know. That's why it really wants you to know. You're feeling it, but Spirit is really saying, know it. If you need to, use that, feeling that victory, because that comes from the intuitive sense. We talked about really listening to that gut. You know where you're stepping. Continue stepping. Even if your mind is having that monkey business of a little bit of fear or doubt or insecurities, if that, past identifiers are coming through, to ignore that, because your victory is already here. You've already victorious. You just got to walk through the door and basically claim, the ceremony and the award of victory. Claim that energy. It's yours. You've worked hard for it already. You have already been patient. And you're already one with Spirit. And the universe knows this, and it wants to give you these gifts coming in. It wants to give you, and it wants you to know that you have done the right thing and you have arrived in the right place at the right time. It really wants you to know that. That message is coming through. And then this is just a clarifier card. Sometimes they come out, sometimes they don't, but this one came out. And what do we have? My goodness. We couldn't get a better card for like an overall. I'm trying to focus, but anyways, it is the Magician. He's being stubborn. Wow, look. Okay, Magician. Use your magic and focus. There we go. And there he is. There's the Magician. So, wow. You couldn't get a better card. The clarifier here is saying you can do anything, go anywhere, use an intuition, follow your passion. You have it all. You have everything that is needed to move forward, to step through that door and to go where you need to go. And that's going where you want to go, because your alignment, that resonating alignment, you are singing with the universe. So continue to let go. Continue to get rid of the monkey mind and continue to allow that monkey mind to transform into the higher consciousness, to allow, to guide you, to show you the path, to light the path where you're going. And Spirit has one more card. It wanted me, oh my goodness, just as I was talking about, wanted me to show you the bottom of the deck, and this card was at the bottom of the deck. It's a Six of Swords. There it is. Six of Swords. Let's see if I can bring it in closer. So we have the Six of Swords. And wow, we couldn't get a better card than that for the messages. She is off. She's leaving all that stuff behind. She's leaving all the stuff behind. She is going into the new direction. Exactly what I was saying, that Spirit is lighting the path for her. See, it's a little bit dark. It's light back here, but it's a little bit dark, but she's not paying attention because she's trust. She's got the faith. She has the faith. So continue to have that faith. And she doesn't look concerned or anything. She's moving straight forward. And that's what Spirit wants you to know, because she knows her victory is right in front of her. Her victory is over here. So she knows that's where she's going to. So Spirit wants you to know that. And I want you to know, keep looking forward. Even though like there's still something saying, hey, look at me back here. Don't look at that. You know that's behind you. And it's behind her, it's behind you. And she's moving forward. She's got the faith. And it just cross keeps catching my eye for some reason. Whatever this symbol means to you, it's basically a symbol of light and enlightenment. So continue to move forward. Have the courage. Your victory is there. And she knows it. She knows it. So we're going to wrap it up there. I just want to talk about the mystical shaman. And I'm just going to read from the book because I got a sense of this card. If you're familiar with shamans. Shamans work really intuitively with the universe, but the essence of this card in the book is so amazingly beautiful. I just had to read it. So this is the symbol of the myth maker. Okay, very important. So we have the magician, the myth maker, the story teller. So the magician can make anything he needs, right? Who is neither made of nor defined by the story. Instead, he observes it, evolves through it, perceives all aspects of it. In so doing, the mystical shaman represents the ability to dream a new story, a new myth into being. And that's your new life. That's your new life. You're coming into your new life. You can make a new myth, a new story, a new dream, new reality. He dances between worlds. There's the two worlds coming together in balance, wearing the cloak of the world loosely around his shoulders, and sings the world into being. He reminds us to be in the world and travel through it, but not to be defined by it. We talked a little bit about that, not being defined by the world and social teachings or idealisms by it. So don't be defined by it or become too attached to the experience, okay? Because it's a physical experience. So we don't want to become too attached to it. This is the symbol of true alchemy. For all elements of life have a spiritual aspect and a material one. So spirit and materials, that's kind of what we talked about. The spiritual world and the material world coming together in balance. When we remember this, all manner of miracles and manifestations are possible. And that's your magician. And there's no greater symbolism than the shaman who can actually do that, balance the two worlds. Because he knows both worlds, because he continually exists between two worlds. And that's the place you're coming to. How powerful and magnificent is that. And so wonderful. You are stepping into a whole new life. You are coming alive. And so with that message being said, remember, Maliu, staying focused with who you are, your gut, your instincts. You know where you're going. You know where you're going is wonderful, and it's really coming beautiful. And this is all happening in June. Not just beginning, but it's happening. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed this reading. This is such a beautiful reading. Really kind of actually made me shiver. But I really love reading. I love reading this for you, and I love sharing these messages with you. Because Spirit has really given me Spirit has given me the gift of these such amazing, wonderful, beautiful messages, and being attuned and being able to be connected with Spirit. So I just so much love to share that with all of you and all those out there, because it is such an amazing experience. Love and aloha. E aloha kekahi. I kekahi. Love one another. Aloha. and welcome to the mudra section. So we talked about, we had Shikang, the snake, which also represents Kundalini, creativity, and fire. Very interesting that we have this message coming into summer. So a lot of fire, a lot of creativity going on, and you know, we're going to need that moving into our new era in our life. So we're going to be writing a whole new novel. We're going to be writing on the blank pages that is going to be our creation. All right, great. So the mudra, so Shikang, talking about creativity and Kundalini, fire creation, which is what we're going to be using when we're coming into summer. Everything's going to be new and, you know, burning like the sun. We have our community garden right behind us, so lots of growth coming up. All right, so the mudra, the affirmation is I joyously embrace and experience the wisdom and vitality of my body. And so the mudra is, we're going to start with hands by the navel, or lower if you can, where the root chakra begins, and it's going to come up like that, like a snake, all the way up to the crown, and then the hands come back together again. Step back first, step back. Okay. All right, we're going to do it 3 times. All right. I joyously embrace and experience the wisdom and vitality of my body. I joyously embrace and experience the wisdom and vitality of my body. I joyously experience and embrace the vitality of my body. Thank you. Have a blessed rest of June, and we'll see you next month.